This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
We're going to talk specifically his days as Cactus in WCW, but man, he really began making a name for himself in world class and in the Continental promotion in the late 80s. And Cactus Jack, or should we say Cactus Jack Manson, you remember that, he made his debut for WCW on December 16th, 1989 on the World Championship Wrestling program. And JR, if you could just share with everybody, our audience here, how you were aware, or first made aware or introduced to Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, before this whole WCW debut.
Well, Mick was a darling of the wrestling magazine, so he got a lot of coverage. To his credit, he made himself accessible and a fun interview. I saw most of Mick's early work when I was living in Oklahoma, and they were on cable and out of Dallas, world class. And so I made a point, I think it was on, I want to say Saturday night, 10 to midnight or something like that for a Central Time Zone. I might be wrong, but something along those lines. It was accessible to me and it fit into my schedule. So I tried to catch that as often as I could, because again, we used a lot of those guys over the years from Fritz's office and Fritz von Erich's office in world class. So I was kind of a regular viewer of that product, and I was a fan of Mick's work. I know that early on, when we first started working together, the one thing he wanted to do was to get rid of the Manson aspect of his name. He wasn't a big fan of the Cactus Jack Manson. He may have been when he first started. It may have seemed like it worked. Maybe the promoter liked it, whatever. But he didn't like it. And so that's a little known fun fact. The Manson aspect of Mick's TV persona was not something he embraced. And so we quit using it. Simple. We didn't have a meeting. We didn't have to have a quorum. The talent didn't like it, so let's don't use it. It's not going to make any difference. He's not over yet anyway. He's not clearly established. So if we're going to do it, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it completely makes sense why you wouldn't want that attached to him as he continues to move up the ranks. So Mick has talked about how you and Jim Cornette really hyped him up to Ric Flair and Kevin Sullivan on his first night there at Center Stage. Do you remember that? Do you remember any of that conversation, how you felt after you first saw him there and talking with Rick and Kevin?
Well, Nate and Sully were not as familiar with Mick as Cornette and I. And of course, Cornette and I, being wrestling junkies, couldn't get enough of the product. So consequently, we were watching everything. And then when I lived in Atlanta, I had the luxury of the late Joe Pedicino's wrestling block. And they had, 4, 5, 6 different shows on every Saturday night. I think it was channel 69 or something along those lines in Atlanta. So I got to consume a lot of product there. Of course, I was in a position at the booking committee where we were looking for new talent. Like I said here before, wrestling fans like new. And so we were looking for new. And we believe, Cornette and I certainly believe that that Cactus fit that bill.
Yeah, no, that's fun. Joe Pedicino knows. I remember Joe Pedicino, so that's a fun name from the wrestling past. But Mick leaves a big impression here in his first appearance. It's he and Rick Fargo. They lose to the Steiners, and after the match, Cactus and Fargo would fight with each other, and Cactus leaves him laying with his signature running elbow from the apron to the floor. JR, we have a clip here I want to share with you in our first clip of the week. We have 3 of them. This is the first. Let's take a look at Cactus here.
His tag team partner is from New Mexico. He weighs in at 234 pounds, Cactus Jack Manson. Their opponents making their way into the ring area. They are the current World Tag Team Champions from the Motor City of Detroit, Michigan at 525 pounds, Rick and Scott Steiner. These are the Steiner brothers. Uh-oh, here comes. Ooh, Frankie Steiner! They want it! They call for it! The players asked for it! And Steiner delivered it! Here are your winners, the World Tag Team Champions, Rick and Scott Steiner, the Steiner brothers!
Nick Patrick, the referee, Tony Gillum.
The Steiners asking their little friends to come into the ring. The World Tag Team Champions still up. have won it. Let's keep our cameras right here for just a moment before we go to the slow-mo. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Fargo and Manson are fighting. Fargo and Manson are fighting here. I don't blame Manson a bit. Put the boots to him, Cactus Jack. Cactus Jack from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, looked great against the Steiners. Now what's he going to do here? He's got him outside. Backbreaker right on the floor. What's he doing? No, he's not. Right off the line. Good Lord. What is wrong with him? There's something not right. Man, well, we need some help for Rick Fargo. Cactus Jack Manson. I'd like to see that one again. Well, Truth or Consequences, New Mexico's representative just did something breathtaking. Look at this, Kevin. He jumps from the apron. 12 feet in the air onto the cement floor with an elbow. What I said before, there's something definitely wrong with this cat. We'll hear more from Cactus Jack fans, but when we come back.
12 feet in the air. I measured it just
12 feet. No, but man, that doesn't feel good on the old hip.
No,
He didn't land on the pad either. He extended
years of doing that didn't do Mick any favors, quite frankly, but it made him stand out. He found something as simple as that. It's not simple. It's simple to execute.
Yes.
But it's not simple to survive. You know, Flair bought into Mick. Seemed, best I recall, Sullivan certainly did. And Cornette and I were big boosters. And so that's how Mick ended up getting a job. Said, you know, we thought he had something. And I've been in that corner and of that sentiment for decades now.
And dude, this is exactly what he would always do. This was an early trait of Mick. He would leave his partner laying after the matches, but this was something unique and different. To your point, it was new, and it got him over with the audience. To your point,
Yeah. The thing about Mick, as a writer, as a babyface, as a heel, he always connected with his audience, because him being a lifelong fan and having his quote unquote dream job was something that he really embraced. So his ability to connect with the audience was extraordinary. And that's one thing that I would suggest any wrestlers, and I know a lot of wrestlers listen to our podcast and we appreciate it. You got to learn, or you got to acquire the skills of connecting with your audience in whatever role you may be in. And so Mick learned that at an early age. He was so impressionable. He's smart. You know, Mick has a college degree, and his dad was a teacher. He comes from an educated family. So I'm just thinking that Mick was destined to do all these things, but we all were kind of concerned that, can we keep him healthy enough to get there?
right?
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.